So, ladies and gentlemen, today I felt like drawing instead of just talking. So I was creating kind of a model to explain the non-dualistic experience, if you will. So maybe it can help you disentangle some belief systems that keep you stuck in this dualistic worldview. And it may actually trigger something in you so you can experience God in front of you. Let me know in the comments if it helped, if something happens, and enjoy. So the Buddha said that everything is fundamentally empty, but to me, that emptiness is permanent, and that permanency he's talking of is the consciousness, to me. He said that consciousness itself is impermanent, but when he said that everything is empty, that emptiness to me is the consciousness. I'm not talking about the personal consciousness, the fact that I can see matter. That's not consciousness to me. Consciousness to me is what remains when you are in deep sleep. That is emptiness, and everything consists out of that deep sleep. So when we say that this is the consciousness, then this is the true self. It's the true self. But that thing is emptiness itself, therefore it's not manifested. Therefore it doesn't really exist. We cannot see that thing. We cannot see that thing. Yet there's an emanation, a seeing itself that takes place, and that's all we can be aware of in our experience. We cannot be aware of the sun, we can only be aware of the emanation itself. So let's say that there is like a face, it's a human. And that's the body. And we think that this brain that consists out of matter is creating the consciousness, but we are not aware of consciousness itself. We are aware of the emanation of consciousness. And when I say consciousness itself, the word unknown would be a better word. So we can be aware of a tree, of a that's a dog. We can be aware of all sorts of things like mountains. That's a real masterpiece right here. So we can be aware of all these things. But real matter has never been found. No object is solid. No object is really solid. We can zoom into things. We can see like this is an atom. It consists out of neutrons, protons, and this is an electron, and it swings around that thing. If we zoom even more deeper into that thing, we can find quarks. If we had enough energy, we could even split that quark, and we would find even more just random objects, just appearances in consciousness, but we don't know what they consist out of. Now I say that everything consists out of that thing. Because if you believe in the Big Bang Theory, and it's just a theory, I don't say it's real, I don't say it's facts, but if you believe in it, then everything came from nothing. It's just an explosion. Every particle, every piece of matter came from something unknown. And I don't want you to get confused. This model is not dependent on the Big Bang, but the Big Bang is talking about the beginning. What was before a beginning? What is before a beginning of existence? Nothing. So, to me, in direct experience, nothing is emptiness. But there's also form, which is the thing that happened after the Big Bang. To me, that's both the same thing. Form is emptiness, emptiness is form. It's not a theory or a philosophy, it's direct seeing, a direct experience. So I don't believe in a past, therefore I don't believe in a Big Bang that happened in the past, and a nothingness that was before the beginning of time. I see that Those things are happening simultaneously right here in front of your face. That's what we were talking about. The unknown wants to experience itself. We are not aware of a consciousness. We are aware of the seeing. It's a verb. That's why I say there is no I. An I cannot be found because an I is a noun. We are only aware of a verb, the seeing itself. If you say, but I'm here, no, that's a thought. They're thoughts. And feelings down there. Sensations even. But you need a witness, a seeing, to be aware of thoughts, feelings, and sensations. Therefore, these thoughts, feelings, sensations are happening in this world. It doesn't make an I that is experiencing this world. No. The unknown is the fundamental basis out of which this world consists of. And it experiences itself by pretending that it is localized in a brain, and it, for a while, it pretends to be a brain. For a while, it pretends to be a false self. So this guy thinks, I am here. I'm in this world. I'm separate from this dog, from this tree, from this mountain. Awakening is simply the realization that this assumption that I am an I separate from a dog, from a tree, from a mountain, is just false. It's just, that's awakening. You don't have to protect this I because it simply consists out of a belief, a feeling, and a sensation. And when you recognize that there's no I you have to protect because you don't have a belief system anyway, it's just transient. You don't even have to care about that thing, because when you care about that thing, it's an ego pretending to be consciousness. So you don't have to care about that thing. Let's forget the true self, because we don't, that thing is unmanifest, so it cannot be threatened. Just forget that. Just know that everything here is a direct experience, no I to be found. So everything is God, if you want to call it God. Now, I almost forgot to make something clear. Non-duality doesn't mean that there is always peace. Like non-duality, the realization that there's not a duality actually, is what we have looked at right now. It's just all the same. But some people go on a spiritual path to find peace and liberation, like real peace. That's when you actually realize, you don't have to have this realization, but just knowing that there is something behind that true self, which is unknown. When you do self-inquiry, what happens is you're not this mountain, you're not this tree, you're not this dog, you're not a sensation, you're not a feeling, you're not a thought, therefore you're not an I. You sink deeper into reality and therefore you recognize the true self. But when you are in the true self, there's nothing to hold on to. There's nothing at all. It's pure peace. So nothingness is the feeling of peace. But the feeling is not a feeling like for the body. It's just peace itself. Peace being peace. Like the isness is ising. I hope you understand what I'm trying to explain right here, because that's important. If that I says I want to have peace, then it actually wants to do a mental suicide so it can become or recognize what it has always been. That's self-inquiry. When you fall into your true self, into the unknown, when you fall into the unknown or you do self-inquiry, that's exactly what happens. And this is one of the fastest ways to actually recognize that everything consists out of the same thing. That's what Muji does, that's what Papaji did. That's their approach. And I think that's a very good way to do it, actually, because who doesn't want peace? But it really comes down to you. If you're really able to let go, that's it.